Good evening, people, and welcome back to this new episode of the Art Lab Diaries. I am so very excited for this one because it is about my favorite subject, which is stationery. And so, actually, I've had for a long time a lot of notebooks that I've used. I'm gonna show it to you. It is kind of this huge pile of books that are active, like I'm using it not daily but very often. And I unfortunately finished my favorite one, which is my commonplace book. It is a book that I've used for writing almost everything in life and for any kind of event. But now it is the end and I need to change it. And for a few weeks, no, for the past few months, I think, I've kind of been a bit brainwashed by the Louise Carmen, Paper Republic, and Traveler notebooks, especially for their aesthetic, but also because it is very practical. Like in one place, you have everything, which is going to be the case. In this episode, I'm going to make my very own, not leather notebook, not even full leather, it is actually fabric. And so this is going to be a vlog, not a tutorial, because I've struggled all the way along. So it is more of the process of it, because I've changed my mind quite a bit in this episode, so yeah. And so now let's go make that notebooks together. Okay, first of all we have to do some research. The first question is, what is going to be the size of this notebook? A5 and A6 are too big, so I'll go for B6. And these are the actual measurements of the notebook, and here is the cover's measurement. I have in this notebook 4 books that I think are essential: commonplace book, my journal, my sketchbook, and my cooking book, and each of them will have specific numbers of pages. Now we can finally start making those famous notebooks. First of all, I start with doing a pattern that is going to be my reference for every future measurements. And now that I have my pattern, I have to fold each piece of paper that will compose each of those notebooks. This part is kind of easy to make, like I just watched video while doing it, so really fun and really relaxing in a way. Then we can finally start the bookbinding. Bookbinding is a method in which you are sewing each paper to a cover, and at the end you have a notebook. In this case, I am recycling an old calendar to make the covers of those notebooks. I really love it because it features multiple artists and I find it really creative and inspiring. Like, those covers are gonna be gorgeous. The first step of bookbinding is preparing the paper by preparing where you're going to stitch. And depending on the notebook, we'll have different stitching methods. For my cooking book and sketchbook, I'm gonna use the chain stitch. For my journal/diary, I'm gonna use the saddle stitch. And for my commonplace book, I'm gonna use the Coptic stitch because it is a bigger notebook which will need much more paper to be sewed together. And for each of those stitching methods, I'm gonna link you down below in the description, videos and tutorials that I find really useful and really well explained, because again, this video, it is not a tutorial, it is just me trying to do my things, and so yeah. And finally, the result, so pretty, I love it. And of course, don't forget to press those books because you don't want them to be too chunky. And after being pressed, I cut those notebooks to achieve my B6 size and not keep the A5 one. Okay, so now that we've finished doing the bookbinding and the pressing of those notebooks, we are gonna tackle the big task of doing the cover. And so, instead of using leather, I want to use something that I already have at home, which is what we call in France lino. It is a fabric that is used for the flooring, and as you can see, it has kind of a fake wooden pattern. But of course, I'm not gonna keep this pattern, so I'm going to cover the lino with this fabric, which is an old pants that I'm gonna recycle. And it has kind of the same color of leather, and it is really soft. I really like the feeling of it, so yeah. And also I was a bit hesitant on which fabric I wanted to use, so I also brought back from my home, my mother's home, this fabric, which is a dress, and I really like the green of it. It is pretty thin, so maybe if I don't use it for the wall cover, I'm gonna use it for the inside of it, because the lino is white inside, but it is kind of, you can feel it is plastic. I don't really like it. So yeah, I think that's it for the cover. Now let's do it. Okay, so first of all, those notebooks weren't cut when I cutted the lino in the first place, so yeah, it looks weird. But to make the cover, I didn't took exact measurements. Like, I've just used my pattern and used the final notebooks and kind of find the right measurements just with the eye. Okay, and so when you finished cutting the lino or your base, I decided to glue it. So it is a white glue, which in France we call vernicole. And so I just spread it everywhere. And I had the misfortune of finding that it smells really bad, or at least with my fabric it smells really bad. So maybe don't use this one next time, or something else. Then I got the bright idea of sewing my cover because I found it to be pretty on other notebooks. But my sewing machine wasn't really happy about it, so I just removed it twice and forgot it. And then we have to add the eyelids and the elastic. So I haven't filmed the eyelids making because I made it outside of my building because it was making so much noise. And so yeah, no footage for you, but you can find so many tutorials on YouTube. And then I just do the elastic by eye. And finally we can make the notebook, like assemble it. So yeah, this part is kind of my favorite because we can see it finally ends and we can see the final result. Last part of this vlog is the customization, which is actually my, again, favorite one because it was the creative part. Even though those previous ones were also really creative because I had to come up with new solution when I had any problems or any struggle, because I have done some really big mistake. Like, I have sewed one of the notebooks on the wrong side, like the cover was on the wrong side, so I had to do it again. But at the end, the result is really stunning, and I think I'm gonna use it a lot. Like, I'm gonna give you an update, I think, maybe. So enjoy the creative process and just vibe with me. And here comes the end of this video. It is now time to say goodbye to my old commonplace book, which is the whole reason of this video. And now say hello to this everything notebook, which will have everything I will need in life. This notebook is not gonna be my only notebook, of course. Maybe I will do a notebook ecosystem if some of you are interested, because I will still use this sketchbook. It is not finished at all, so I'm not gonna waste it. The sketchbook in my everything notebook is gonna be just for doodling and few ideas, not really for big illustration. So yeah, this sketchbook is going to be in my pocket. No, not in my pocket, in my bag every time. So his purpose is to be just here and support my ideas that will come into my mind. And so I hope this video is going to inspire you to create without having in mind to buy new things, have specific material, and that you can do almost everything with what you have. So yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.